Let's talk about the concept of going outside. It's a funny phrase, isn't it? We act as if our houses, our offices, and our cities are the default, the main stage of reality, and nature is this designated recreational zone we visit on weekends when the Wi-Fi acts up or we feel a bit burnt out. But let's be honest with ourselves. Nature is the actual house. We just built tiny, climate-controlled, concrete boxes inside of it and call them home. We are surrounded by an endless, swirling masterpiece of biology, chemistry, and physics, operating 24 hours a day without a single project manager, board meeting, or coffee break. The metropolis beneath our feet. Think about the literal dirt beneath your shoes. We treat soil like it's just the annoying stuff we have to vacuum off our rugs, but a single handful of healthy soil contains more living organisms than there are human beings on the entire planet. It is a bustling, microscopic metropolis of bacteria, fungi, nematodes, and earthworms. They are down there right now, furiously decomposing leaves, fixing nitrogen, and keeping the entire terrestrial food chain from completely collapsing. It's a thankless, dirty job. You will never see an earthworm asking for a promotion, but if they went on strike for even a week, the whole world would grind to a sudden halt. It really makes you rethink who is actually running the show around here. The slow magic of the green world. Then, of course, you look up and see the plants. We humans are entirely obsessed with speed, fast food, fast internet, fast fashion. Plants, on the other hand, operate on an entirely different timeline. A giant redwood tree doesn't care about your quarterly earnings report or your unread emails. It operates on a timeline of centuries. It spends decades just getting its roots settled in the dark before it even thinks about joining the canopy overhead. And yet, this slow, silent kingdom is incredibly dynamic. We now know that plants communicate. They release volatile organic compounds into the air to warn their neighbors about grazing herbivores. When a caterpillar takes a bite out of a leaf, that plant sends out a chemical scream, and the plants downwind start pumping their leaves full of bitter-tasting toxins to prepare. It's an invisible, silent drama happening in every garden, park, and forest on Earth. They are constantly talking. We are just too fast and too loud to hear them. The sci-fi epic of the ocean. If the land is a drama, the ocean is a full-blown sci-fi epic. Water covers more than 70% of our planet, and yet we arguably know more about the dead surface of the moon than we do about the bottom of the Mariana Trench. The ocean is the Earth's great beating blue heart. It controls our weather, absorbs massive amounts of our carbon, and is home to creatures that look like they were designed by a sleep-deprived alien. You have the immortal jellyfish, which can literally revert back to its juvenile state and start its life over again when it gets stressed out, a trick most humans would pay dearly for. You have the octopus, a creature so intelligent it can solve puzzles, open jars from the inside out, and change the exact color and texture of its skin in a fraction of a second to mimic a rock or a piece of kelp. These aren't just animals swimming around aimlessly. They are highly evolved, problem-solving machines navigating an alien environment of crushing pressure and total darkness. Hacking gravity and building culture. Speaking of problem-solving, let's look at the sky. Birds are basically tiny, feathered dinosaurs that figured out how to hack gravity. Have you ever really watched a crow? They aren't just flying around looking for discarded French fries. Crows understand water displacement, they can recognize individual human faces, and they will hold grudges against people who have wronged them, passing that grudge down to their children. That's not just animal instinct. That is the foundation of culture. Then you have the Arctic tern, a bird that weighs about as much as a deck of playing cards, yet it migrates from the Arctic to the Antarctic and back again every single year. It sees more daylight than any other creature on the planet. The sheer stamina and navigation skills required for that journey are mind-boggling, and they do it without GPS, relying on the Earth's magnetic field and the positions of the stars. The raw power of the elements. Of course, nature isn't all quiet plant growth and clever animals. It's also staggeringly powerful. The weather is the Earth's way of reminding us who is ultimately in charge. A hurricane releases the energy equivalent of a 10-megaton nuclear bomb exploding every 20 minutes. A blizzard can shut down a modern megalopolis of 10 million people in a matter of hours. We build massive concrete seawalls and reinforce our roofs with steel. But nature can brush them aside like fragile toys when it feels like it. There is a terrible, awe-inspiring beauty in a violent storm. It strips away the illusion of our total control. It forces us to sit in the dark, listen to the wind howl, and remember that we are small, fragile creatures clinging to the crust of a very dynamic rock hurtling through space. Running the right software? So, why do we feel so good when we finally step away from our screens, leave the city behind, and go for a hike? It's not just the fresh air or the exercise. It's a literal homecoming. Our human brains evolved over millions of years to process the fractal patterns of tree branches, the soothing sound of running water, and the shifting shades of green and brown. When we are constantly surrounded by concrete right angles, traffic noise, and artificial blue light, our nervous systems get stressed out. We are essentially running the wrong software on our hardware. Taking a walk in the woods is like hitting the reboot button on a frozen computer. Your blood pressure drops, your cortisol levels even out, and your mind finally gets a chance to stretch its legs and breathe. Nature isn't a luxury. It isn't just a nice backdrop for an Instagram photo or a place to test out expensive hiking boots on a Sunday afternoon. It is the very foundation of everything we are and everything we ever will be. It is the water in our cells, the air in our lungs, and the gravity keeping us tethered to the ground. It is chaotic, unfeeling, profoundly generous, and relentlessly alive. We don't just live in nature. We are nature. And the sooner we realize that, the better off we'll be. It's a loud, wild, and incredibly beautiful conversation, and we are incredibly lucky just to have a seat at the table.